Hey guys, is UAG in the building? Back with another episode of the Retro After Party. With how you guys doing? First off, want to welcome you to the show and congratulate you for making it through another week. We on MK Day, and what better way to celebrate MK Day with some fans of MK? If you guys know it, he's a big fan of the Mortal Kombat franchise. We got Dreamcast Cal. We also got TechnoBilly here, and we're just gonna bring them on. So bear with me 1 second while I get them on the stream.
What's going on, guys?
Hey guys. So
it's good to be here.
How you guys doing? How's your week have been this week? Two guys.
Busy. Just got hyped up for this movie.
Man, I've been feeling like absolute dog crap. I got the vaccine earlier this week, the Moderna one, and I've been dragging ass ever since. But I don't know, I'm pretty good at the moment.
I got my last shot a couple of days ago, so.
Yeah, I had my first one 2 days ago. It wasn't too bad. I just had kind of have a sore arm for a bit, but
yeah. I got hit pretty hard, but it gave me an excuse to be at home and bang out another video. So
yeah, I saw that video on the that game, the mini.
Yeah, so. Yeah, man. I'm still cleaning up dust, man. Like, I was over there just now. I was like, let me turn the pong table on. I realized the pong table has brown shit all over it. Sorry.
Man, how do you like that thing?
Well, at first I was. Let me say, at first I was angry at it. I was like, I wasn't angry at the table. I was angry at myself. Why did I spend this money on pong? Because like I put it all together and. It took me like, I mean, if you built an arcade one up, like it's no different. But I had the whole cab together in like 20 minutes. But then you get to this stopping point where there's this rubber gasket you got to tuck in all along the inside for where the screen drops in for like a little bit of water protection. And I think that took me like a half hour, and then just on that, and then when I turned it on. I'm 5'7", and my intent was to play the thing on a stool. By the way, John is sending me 4 Pong stool covers. Thanks, John. From arcadestools.com. Anyways, when you turn it on, the plexiglass is so close to the LCD that there's this like shadow kind of effect. And when you're looking at it, if you're looking at it overhead, and it's the BOE monitor, it's the same 17-inch BOE that's in all the third gens. If you're looking at it like directly down and overhead, it looks nice and clear. But when you're at an angle and it's kind of skewed, you actually see this reflection. And I could probably catch it on camera. And I don't know, it just I had a little bit of buyer's remorse. But then my friend came over and we were playing Warlords, and it was instantly redeemed.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, if you had to give it a score, what would you give it?
Man, my number would be, I'm gonna give it like either a 7.5 or an 8. But the thing is, like, this thing, this is gonna live up to like being like one of those like golden tea cabinets. Like it's gonna be up there. Hit that like everyone says, "Oh, why do you want a golf game?" And then when everybody comes over, they're all playing golden tea. You know, this is gonna be exactly like that. This is that have some drinks. You know, this is spill some stuff on it. It's the cover it in brown dust because you made a video machine. And I mean, it like once like I don't know. I would like to see more in that. Like, I want to see a pong table that doesn't have logos all over the sides. I want to see a more premium quality version of that, and I also want to see like some maybe they'll come out with a legacy edition cocktail to line up with it. You know, like.
So Well, this show is a special one, guys, because we're basically showcasing you guys game rooms, modifications, and um, that's why we have these two guests here. They have some great game rooms, their setups, and they've done some awesome modifications on some of their units. So we wanted to talk about that, and also we have some other topics that we'll get to throughout the show. But first, let's show some of the game rooms that you guys have sent me pictures of. So I appreciate you guys doing that, and I'm just gonna share my screen here so we could get that pulled up. And tell me, ooh, that's not good. Did you see it flashing?
Yeah, it's flashing a bit here.
What is going on there?
There it goes. It was fine. After a second, it was fine.
Well, let's go ahead and do this.
There
Okay.
we go.
So this is Keon's game room,
Nice.
and Keon probably has one of the nicest game rooms. This dude, he's from Queens, so we won't hold him, against that because that's Mets town, and I'm a Yankee guy. But we'll
I'm a Yankees fan,
let
too.
that slide. But this is one of his setups, and I love that the full uh, brick wall there, really really very arcadey like, and he has himself this right here on this side. Here is a toy modded toy shock. He has the Legends pinball. He got
Wow.
himself the gamer mini right there too. He has them all. I arcade. Then he really like the artwork on the walls is really cool. He got himself
Maybe
a
vibe.
yeah. I love it. I love it.
Man.
I love the he even got the arcade there. Slot machine.
Man, that's gorgeous.
Ooh,
I like the brick. I like the
I really think that's what ties it all together. That brick wall.
yeah.
It really feels like an arcade because of that.
Now, is that like a wallpaper or is that actual?
That's
brick?
a wallpaper, but it's texturized.
Yeah.
It's not just
Yeah.
it's kind of 3D.
It almost feels like I've seen them at Home Depot and like Lowe's. It's like a giant. It's a heavy thing, and you've got to like adhere it to the wall. Like it's no joke. It's pretty cool. You're like, man, your room looks like you could do a commercial for Arcade One Up.
I told him if I was in New York, I was coming over there.
Yeah, I would want to pay to hang out there. Like,
And look for you, Dreamcast.
I saw
right
that
there.
before. You already were going to point it out. All right.
And then you got the
There's a fish
MK2.
tank there too. Look.
He got the Joe Sabo's toppers.
Yeah.
So he got good taste.
Yeah. Some people in the chat were pointing out the WrestleFest. That's pretty sweet
Oh,
too.
yeah, that WrestleFest is gorgeous. But let me go back to it.
Yeah.
The WrestleFest is gorgeous.
oh, man, I had considered that Joe Zabo topper, and I was looking at it, and then I was like, well, let me go check eBay, and I found like the original one from the Golden Tea Cabinet that had like the scrolling display, and I was like, wow, let me figure this out. I spent like $140, and within like 3 hours of it being in my house, it wouldn't turn on anymore. I fried something. It's probably in this room, but anyways, go get the Zabo topper and you'll have a better experience.
Someone I don't know if you guys are familiar with Arcade Will. He has a Sabo topper and he put a light shining through the back of it, and it kind of gives it that effect of almost illuminating.
He has like a platform built through his whole
Yes.
room, doesn't he? Yeah,
Yes.
I've seen some of his stuff. Yeah,
I hate him for that because now he makes me want to buy one of those platforms.
yeah.
Because no really need for the risers, and it's just a nice setup. And then here he has infatuation with lizards, and I think that might be a turtles thing over here, but he has some aquariums and stuff like that. So that's really cool setup. I loved it. Then I have another one here. This is Hunter Killer's setup. He was telling me about it because he has the the Legends pinball. He says, and I got some real pinball tables as well. So he shows us his real pinball tables,
Yeah, those are
which is
nice.
freaking awesome. He got a real Gophers. I don't know what that Earth Wind, Earth Shakers, Whirlwind. So that's pretty awesome. Don't mind the I guess the assault rifle right there. Don't mind that. That's
Light gun.
there as well. I think there's a what's it called, a slot machine there.
Terminator.
And he has this is his virtual pinball setup that he has here as well with the joystick and buttons there.
Nice.
And he has an ALU right there next to it. So then he's showing us the I guess his the inside of it, what he's done. He has a bass shaker. He has some solenoids there. So nice little setup right there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Let me see here, and I have my man Brad sent me some pictures. There's him in his II Arcade shirt, right?
Oh, not just. It's also got the like from Jong on there.
Yeah, and then this is a little video he has his dual setup on his II Arcade, so you can do the track mode or whatnot. And he's showing us some of his artwork and pictures and his modded Xbox and stuff like that. He's a collector of some sort as well. So he has all his retro
Dreamcast.
So I know you saw that Dreamcast.
Yeah. I can spot them in the dark.
So do you have a modded Dreamcast?
I have a couple actually. I have the one I use on the CRTs is a stock one, but I do have a few, that I've just played around with.
I've got a GD Emu one around here somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I have.
Well, I should say I have an AliExpress GD Emu. I don't have the real one. Yeah.
I'm trying to hunt one down. Hunt one that I can do a mod to it.
Like Facebook Marketplace, I think probably.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that.
I never have luck with the Facebook Marketplace, at least in this area. I just don't.
Yeah, I always got people trying to charge me like retail price for used cabs.
You should see like the Arcade 1-Up prices here in Canada on Marketplace. Like it's insane. Like thousands of dollars. Like I've seen some for $1,500 on listed on there.
There was
what's up, P-Dubs?
What was it? There was a Street Fighter cabinet that had a Rampage control panel in it, and the guy was selling it as a Street Fighter, and I was like, "Yo, it's not gonna work." And he was like, "Nah, I can choose the menus and everything." Like,
we got a guest in the house there, buddy. What's going on, D-Love?
What's going on there, you average gamer? Hey, fellas, how y'all doing?
How's it going?
Man, hey, your Galaga countercade was beautiful, man. Great job, dude. For real.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks.
Man, yeah.
He just shows you, like, if you don't have it that way, then you shouldn't have the countercade.
Like you set the I'm gonna say you set the standard there, man. That was nice. You got the swinging door and everything. Man, you went over the top, and I love it, man. Shout out to you.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I just got to get my backlit marquee on it, and it'll be done.
Nice, man. And we were talking about this the other day. How you had the you put the hand, like you put the thing from the box in the back to hold on to it and everything. Like, man, we've already been talking about this. Like, so
that's a P-Dubs mandatory ad. He don't like me to have any cabinet that doesn't have it.
So you've come in a perfect time, because we're talking about people's game room setups and modifications that they have done, and so you have some of the best videos out there in terms of modification. So I'm sure a lot of people here have seen your videos of whatnot, and we're just showing some of Brad's stuff. This is 101 handhelds that he has, and an extensive collection in terms of that. And there goes his Captain America and all that. I'm loving this. Yeah, he's had a lot of stuff to fit into this room. That's probably his biggest challenge is how to fit all this stuff in the room.
That is a monster control deck there. Yeah.
Yeah, and he built that himself.
Nice.
I think some of that might be 3D printed. So he has a spinner, he has that, and I think that also has buttons, pinball buttons on it. I know that's how he's been playing. Yeah, like they're playing pinball on that screen right there. So we have that. So
now, whose game room was that?
That was Brad O'Connor's.
Oh yeah, Brad's got a nice setup there. He's still got some things on the pre-order that's
well,
yet to be received.
He got that Attack from Mars coming, so I know he's excited about that.
The Legacy Cab, I believe he has that on pre-order as well.
So that was the people's video stuff. So we appreciate all that. Why don't we start with you guys? Who's ready to show? Oh, wait a minute! I got some photos here. Hold on. We could do it this way. This would be easier this way.
Well, while you're looking that up, I just want to say, I'm just glad you guys have walls. You guys talk about my cabinets, my mods. I just wish I had walls that I could hang stuff up on.
Man.
Listen,
I'm running out of space.
You make walls, so like I know you had that separator for your work area and your game room. So you make it up as you go.
No choice.
So let me go ahead and show this as well. Boom. So this is Dreamcast. How we're kind of going into another direction here, and it's more modifications here. So this is Dreamcast. Kyle, tell us about this.
So this started with getting the sit-down cabinet and hating that stool and ripping it apart. And I took a gaming chair and basically fit it on and built something similar to what D Love's in, and just built like a wooden platform around it with 2x4s. I have the pedals like recessed in the back there, but I usually pull them out and put them right on. There's like a little bit of an area where you can put them on right in front of the seat. And I raised the cab up just using a standard Arcade 1-Up riser. I screwed it all in. So it's all one unit right now.
I was going to ask you about that. So it's like having the stand-up version of the what do you call it? Outrun. But then you also put the bench up at the same level.
Yeah, so I ended up raising everything up about the width of a 2x4, and I wish I brought it up a little bit higher, but it's still not bad because I'm a pretty tall guy, so I can still reach the wheel and everything pretty good, but it's way better, way more comfortable. I had to put those little, like you see those little side braces too, just to make sure that the seat doesn't roll back on you. But after I did that, it's been like really stable. And I don't know, it's way more comfortable for me to play it like that.
See, me being, I feel like I'm feel like old, so I cannot sit. Like that was one of the reasons that I didn't get that cabinet. I feel like I would be sitting on the ground, and that wouldn't be a comfortable fit for me.
Yeah, like it hurt my back. Yeah, it was killing my back to play like that. Plus, I felt kind of stupid looking playing sitting like that. I'm so tall. I'm like 6'1", so.
Yeah, that would not have been a comfortable fit. I know one of the things that you didn't like about it was the seat, Detroit Love. Does that fix that for you?
Yeah, I've seen a few mods like this, and it definitely looks better. I'm sure it's more comfortable. I was never happy with the Arcade 1-Up sit down, even with the Star Wars. Not having a back. That the cushions that they had on there was very thin. And with the Outrun, just the design is like, shouldn't it be a wheel design on that seat anyway, just to make it look like a automobile. It was just enough things about that cabinet that I just wasn't a fan of. the stand up or the sit down version.
Do you guys think that they'll change it going forward if they release like a Daytona or a Cruisin' or something? Do you think that they'll change the design, or do you think they'll just stay with the cookie cutter?
They usually get better as they go along. So I think that they do hear that feedback and they probably will improve it. Not I'm not saying that they're going to go all out. They're still trying to save a dollar in terms of that, but I think they would improve upon this at least the seat and probably the height level. But
it won't happen quick. That's their motto.
No.
They've invested in that design, and they're going to reuse that design until they're forced to do something different. I mean, look how long it's taken them to get to the legacy type ones where they're actually changing that cookie cutter pattern. Even though they had the golden T, which broke that mold, they still stuck with that for all the other cabinets. So they're really slow to make some certain changes. If they made the change, it'd probably be the third cabinet that they come out, in my opinion. It wouldn't be the next cabinet because they've already would have that in the lineup and designed and ready to go.
They already got the next one ready to come out. You're saying
right?
Yeah, they probably know. They probably know what's next, and it's probably gonna be in the same form factor, and everyone's gonna complain about it. And then on round 3, when they get us to all shell out again, that's when they'll make the change. Just like that, I bet it wouldn't surprise me if there was another cabinet in the quote unquote legacy line that comes out in the same shape that everybody's complaining about right now, like beat ups everybody.
Well, everybody bought them, so they obviously didn't. The loyalists are still going to buy it, regardless, with the imperfections that they've had. You got to make compromises for the price points that they're coming out with. $399, regardless of what we think about some of the flaws. I still think you're getting a good bang for your buck at $399. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, on the current generation of legacy cabinets, you're losing. If you want to say that the MDF is a half inch on each side, you're losing an inch on your control panel. So and then everybody's talking about it like scraping up against their arms. I decided to skip for that wasn't even why I skipped. I mean, I skipped because I already have the games in other formats. But once it came out and people started talking about that, I knew I was not going to be a buyer.
Yeah, I passed on Legacy as well. I don't have any of them pre-ordered.
Was it the same reason? Why did you skip?
I don't know. I just I have the MK cabinet that I'm kind of decking out right now, and I don't know. I'm not. I don't know. I just didn't think it was worth it because here, a Legacy cabinet would be like a $700 cabinet. So that's Canadian dollars, right? So just not worth it for me.
Well, obviously we. The people who did purchase didn't know the screen issue and those things until they actually purchased it. I wouldn't have known about that. I did have the Atari Legacy one on pre-order. I canceled that along with the Attack from Mars one. And my issue was they were just so wishy-washy on the release date, and the communication was just so terrible. I'm like, I'm just gonna let it go, and then if I decide to get it later, I'll do so. And my interest was in the Atari because I missed out on the 12-in-1 when it came out, and I had been looking for a one, and they were just impossible to find. And so I thought, I'll get this Atari one here. So I still don't know. No one has it yet, right? So I think I had a May date when I did have it in my shopping cart back in January or February. So if I can find one of those at a Walmart, I may still grab it. But regardless of the screen thing, because
you're not going to go out of your way.
Yeah, I'm a shorty, so I'm only 5'7", so I'm sure I won't have the same problem that you 6-foot people have. We're looking at the screen.
I've got my GRS modded 12-in-1 already, from back in the day, so I think I'm good on the Atari side.
That Tempest cabinet is awesome looking though.
I mean, that's the thing
cabinet.
though.
Yeah,
it's so unique. It looks gorgeous. It definitely stands out, and it would stand out in anybody's game room. So
It's attractive.
That's one of the reasons why I'd be like, you know what, maybe just maybe. So on to the next mod that you did. First of all, I love this one. This is the Batman one you did. If you haven't seen this video, definitely go over his channel is in the description. Go over there and subscribe. You're like a few away from 700, so before the end of this stream we got to get him over 700 for sure. And we definitely you got to see this video on this. I love it. First of all, best intro ever, and then I love this. So talk to us a little bit about this one.
So obviously this is inspired by the Atari Games cabinet. I think it came out in 1991. I've always been a huge fan of the Tim Burton Batman films. So this is kind of like your straight Raspberry Pi 4 build running MAME. And it's kind of a gimmicky cabinet because I only really have one game loaded on it, and it is the Batman 89 game. It all has all Sanwa controls. It's got 2 speakers in it. And the only thing left I want to do on it is light up the marquee. I need to get like a blank light box or something just to do that. But other than that, it's a pretty slick cabinet.
Question: Which cabinet did you modify?
That is Street Fighter.
Okay.
Yeah. It was in kind of rough shape. I got it used, but it did the job.
Okay. It looks nice.
Definitely. And so where did you get the artwork from?
Oh, yeah, the artwork was from Escape Pod. And it came really nice. Super easy to apply. It does have the Batman Returns on the one side, which really doesn't make too much sense, but it still kind of fits the theme.
Yeah.
I tried to mock up the control panel similar to the original cabinet. It's not exact, but it's close.
It definitely looks awesome. And I think brings a unique feel to your arcade because nobody has this.
Yeah, I don't think they would ever build something like this either.
No. And then you have it right now playing the original game and doing track mode and everything like that as well, right?
Yep.
I get a question before you move on from this picture here. So you got the Star Wars. I finally did pick up one of those. I love that cabinet. I didn't really play it a whole lot that I can recall back in the day. And then I see that's the Rampage in the behind it, or is that
it would be Turtles?
Okay,
yeah.
Turtles.
Yeah, I love the Star Wars cabinet. That was actually my second cabinet, and I play it a lot still. I don't know. I think it's one of their best quality cabinets that they put out.
Yeah, it feels really nice. I'm glad I picked up one.
I want to upgrade the yoke on it. Have you done the yoke upgrade at all?
I have not. No? I have not. No.
So before we leave the Batman cabinet, you guys see that Michael Keaton is going to be Batman one more time?
Yeah.
Yep, and it's official now.
It is official,
that rumor's been for a while, but it's official now. So that's kind of awesome.
Locked in. Yes.
He's like 70, isn't he? He's like 70 years old or something.
Hey, more power to him. More power to Jack Frost.
I think he can do it.
He is the best Batman there was. So
I think so.
We got to give him that. Got him that.
He's the man.
He's going to be in the Flash. It's the Flash movie, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and Ben Affleck's going to be in it as well. So it's supposed to be the multiverse stuff. So that's going to be pretty cool.
Now I'm curious with this here. There's no Batman on this cabinet though.
Yeah, Batman was on the other one.
Was I saw the Joker. I saw.
No. I mean,
yeah, that's just the artwork. Yeah, that's just kind of like what he had.
Okay. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
So did you leave the riser all jet black like that?
Yeah, he did have a riser package there. It was separate. I think it just kind of looked like Gotham City, but I don't know if I'm going to buy it or not. We'll see.
I think it's it ties well together. It blends well. You know. What I'm saying? So there's that. So
yeah. I prefer it to be all black like that.
Yeah.
As opposed to something totally different, unless you blend like the Joker all the way down to the side panel, and the Catwoman up the side, and that's been one of the hit or miss type of things that Arcade One has done with even their custom.
We can get one of those like the Mortal Kombat combo riser. That's an awesome riser. It blends well with the machine.
I have that
You
one.
guys didn't see that one coming. With that being said, let's go over to my man over here, Techno. We'll go ahead and take this off here. Give me one moment.
Yeah.
All right. So
So,
Techno, show us your show us your stuff.
what do we want to start with? Well,
What you're right in front of right now.
okay,
Show us
so
that.
actually, right in front of me, if I could actually, well, first let me flip this camera around. Like this is a first gen Pac-Man cab, and I wired up an encoder board and I switched out the control, like the joystick and everything, and I've got Pac-Man 99 running on here. So let me get out of here, and then if I was to flip this around. And then go like this. We're in Pac-Man 99. And yeah. So I figured, I don't know, it would be a cool way to stream Pac-Man every now and then. And also I feel like I have like a slight competitive advantage for being for actually playing on a cab. So that's
is that a dedicated Switch cab then?
It is now, just because I'm like, I mean, other than having to reboot it occasionally, I'm never taking any of that crap out of there. So it is now. Yeah.
Okay. And for the
you're gonna have to modify that control panel so you get
so for the controls, it was a like I've seen. I don't know. You guys have probably seen recently, like everybody's sharing this board that they drop in, and it's got the 2 sticks and the 8 buttons on it, and it interfaces with the Nintendo Switch. I saw that, and like they wanted like $100, and it sold out. And now they want like $140, and I think it's sold out again. So then I just went on Amazon and I found these like encoder boards. It was like $30 or something like that for 2 of them, and I just wired up to some to like a joystick and some buttons I already had, and then it supports all of the like A, B, X, Y, whatever the buttons are on the Switch.
The Xbox control.
Basically, yeah. And I only hooked up A and B because that's all you need to navigate everything in this game, and also to get into it and launch it. So yeah, it was just a really quick thing I did on like a work from home day, and yeah, now I can stream Pac-Man, and I've got another thing coming up. Sorry, whatever game is making certain noise in the background. All of them. I'm building a Neo Geo cab right now. The MVSX is fantastic, but I wanted to do my own thing, and one thing that I wanted to have directly built into it, and all my modded cabs going forward are going to have capture cards in them, so I can just plug right up. But on the Neo Geo, I'm going to have a USB port mounted, so I can literally just plug right in and start streaming, and then maybe I can do Neo Geo nights where every night I showcase a different Neo Geo game directly from the cab.
So let's get this out in there. That's nice. I really appreciate you showing us that. But the real show.
Okay, yeah.
Take us over to the tapper.
Well,
I don't know if you've seen this tapper, but
I did.
I'm starting a petition.
Gorgeous.
That we're gonna all sign, get the whole community behind.
We're gonna plug all this
over to Arcade One Up and tell them, dude, what you guys are doing? Because we want our cabinets to look like this, as authentic as possible. I'm sure it's gonna come at a price, probably a price that we don't want to pay. This thing looks gorgeous.
Shout out to the Legends Pinball, man. This thing is fantastic, and it's absolutely worth the price. I mean, I would say you're getting an effing deal for what you get with that thing, man. I love my Legends Pinball, and Devil Riders Remake is the best. And UAG got me turned on to that.
I love that game.
Hold up. So let's go right over here. So this is my absolute unit of attack. God, that looks horrible on here.
Yeah. Let's not focus on the marquee because it's not looking good at it.
Trust me, if you're looking at it right here, it looks fantastic.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, we're all familiar that the camera's always.
Anyways, this cabinet, everything from the ground up, like the graphics came from Arcade Graphics. I slapped it all on there, and then I was looking at the bar at the bottom. And there was like a little graphic for like a foot bar, and I got inspired to go to Home Depot and buy like a towel rod or whatever, and then I spray painted it with this like aged copper color. And then I was digging around on eBay, and then I found these like joystick control these like joystick like beer tap tops. So those became part of the build. Then I found these like drink holders, like the actual arcade cabinet. That became part of the build. And then I got these little buttons right here, little like momentary buttons, and just like you would have on the actual machine. And then insert coin and crank it up. I ordered from Focus Attack. I've got two-way gates here, so no left-right action, only up and down. And four-way, cheapest I could find, Sanwa clone. And I wish I could really show off this a little. Hang on a minute.
Trust me, we know. I mean, the level of
the power there. Anyways, beautiful marquee. And then when I flip around to the back, I got to give the biggest shout out to my boy B-Kong, man. Look, check this out. This is beautiful. Like Budweiser logo and everything. The inlet power mod. Like, boom. Look how clean that is. You follow his video, man, and you're going to be like your cabs are going to be at the next level. Seriously.
Who did your marquee?
So the marquee, I jacked my my Arcade Game Factory marquee from my Mortal Kombat, and then I just took the translite that came with the graphics that I ordered from Arcade Graphics and just fit it in there.
Awesome. I mean, that looks amazing.
Oh, here. I mentioned to you, I think I was talking to you earlier about the Pong table. Damn, it's covered in like stupid dust from that. I gotta clean all that shit up, man. God. But let me get in here and show you the flaw here. Hang on. I don't want to say the action word. It's gonna wake up you. I don't care. Okay, Google, turn off the living room lights. So, all right.
That arcade that looks butter smooth. By the way.
So let me get in here and so like when you're on Pong. Start it up. All right. So first off, we'll start out overhead, okay? Looks like Pong, no issue. But this is the BOE monitor. So let's start bringing it back to like how you would be if you were at my height. You know, I'm 5'7". And so you start coming back and you get over here and you start to see the shadow. You see like right along the line there, how it just has this, come on into focus. It's like a $200 camera getting fucking focus. So, anyways, so you see how it has like that shadow effect right there. Like it's not showing it very well on this camera, but really, like all I can see is that while I'm playing, while you're playing games like Pong, and then you go over here, you can kind of see it right there on the score. And then if I was to start a game up and you were to see my paddle, let's see, start a game. Yeah, look, there's just that shadow on the paddle, and it just really
How are the spinners?
The spinners, they're not GRS quality, but it's definitely not that clicky nightmare from before. Let me show you that.
Right.
Hang on. Okay, Google, turn on the living room light. Sorry to anybody's like home automation that I just messed with. So if I was to give this like, look, man, there's fucking dust. So if I was to, that's what I get for like
Listen,
Why is it
that's
so
why you.
dusty?
That's why you cut the wood outside, bro.
Yeah, man. I was trying to do stuff. Anyways, so like if I want to crank it, so spin, done. Spin, done. Now let's head over to the GRS.
We're like in the Matrix.
See
You
that
yourself
over
within
here, but the GRS I can spin and done. Yeah, it spins like 4 times as long. So,
Okay.
anyways, yeah, the pong cable. So I was really pissed off when I like with that whole shadow effect. But then my friend came over and we played Warlords, and like I said, the table immediately redeemed itself. Oh, and yeah, if anybody was wondering, this is where all the dust came from. The other day, I decided to make a hole on a $15 TV tray so you could drop in like a Legends Gamer Mini. Hold on. It really does wedge in. Anyways.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's
Very
cool.
Yeah, that's my cheap pedestal. I also have I've got the Buy Stuff store one over here, but like honestly, as much as I love my my Legends Gamer Pro, it's been collecting dust ever since I got the pinball, because all I was using it for was pinball, and now I've got that there. This if I turn back around over here, here's my my 32-inch Big Buck. I believe I was actually the first one to put a 32-inch display on the Big Buck. I got inspired. Like Cool Toy put that video out where he showed it on a projector, but in his video he made like a big. He made it look like on the thumbnail he put a big screen TV on like an arcade 1-up, and I was like, whoa, I'm gonna do that. And then B Kong was nice enough to have me on his channel to show it off, and yeah. This is my makeshift. Well, like I said, prior to having the pinball, this is my my makeshift Big Buck / rotated over for pinball cab, and yeah, I don't know. It was a cheap way to have to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I don't know.
Well, I got 2 points here. Good thing I didn't drink tonight, because I would have you got me dizzy here. But on your Tapper cabinet, I have a video that shows you how to get rid of all that extra text that scrolls up when you turn it on and off.
Oh man, I absolutely could I could I put a custom intro on my Golden Tee over there, which actually the power cable is just plugged into the Tapper. I wanted to get that built as fast as possible. So right now it still has, if you look up there, it's got the standard like stupid RetroPie launch screen and stuff. And I will eventually be less lazy on finishing the UI on it, but
yeah, sometimes you just want to go play
on other stuff.
Right.
I promise I'll come back. I will come back to it, but I don't know, man.
We'll hold you to that one.
Well, I don't know. Everybody wants to ask me, well, does it have Simpsons Tapper? Eventually, it will have Simpsons Tapper. I just gotta not be a bum and stop doing other stuff.
Listen, that's fine. So, do you love? We got to see your
please
kid for the people who haven't seen it here, so they can do it. If it's in reach, if it's
right
not, don't kill yourself. Wait a minute, let me see that shirt. Let me see the shirt.
Well, this is the Michael B can sell this better than I can, but this is the Super Game Room dudes for the win.
I love that shirt. You got my flannel on too.
Yeah, I gotta do my flannel. Give me a second here. Just unplug the keyboard. Oh, it's the power.
Well, while he's getting that up, guys, our next topic will be where we at, dude. Nick, your guests, game room, and mods are out of this world. We got a healthy community here. Everybody has some cool stuff, right? TechnoBilly's going to be playing some Pac-Man 99 for us. entertaining. Unfortunately, my modeling skills are not that great. You've seen the levels that I've done. I'll do some artwork. I have a pie in there, courtesy of Detroit Loves video. And here he's showing us let's put him big. Gotta be big screen for this one.
Let's get this. Oh, I gotta turn it on. Now, the only thing about the battery operation on this one is, the pies never go off. And so I have to have extra switches to turn off the power when I'm not using it. Otherwise, I'll drain the battery.
So, is everything 5-volt inside there, or is there something 12-volt?
No, everything's 5-volt.
Okay.
Yep. So what's nice is everything's stock. So I don't have any extra buttons. No extra buttons. No holes drilled. The only drilling that I had to do was just to make this from a 2-way to a 8-way.
How you feel about the viewing angle?
What's that? Yeah, with the arcade one-up, the light's in the way here. As long as you're straight on, it's fine. But once you go off to the sides, it washes out.
But it's a countercade. You're not gonna
it's a countercade, so you're not gonna have a gang of people around there watching you play. You know what I mean? So in my opinion, it's not worth upgrading the screen at all. But it's totally battery operated. I just have this cord, which is not necessary to be there, but that's just to charge the battery. This battery will last with this 11 hours, 11 and a half hours.
That's where the timer stopped?
Yep, 11 and a half hours. If you have it on continuously. Obviously, the battery doesn't drain when you're not using it, so you could turn it off, it'll last you a year, right? If you just turn it on and off when you want to use it. There's no time limit to that. But the on-off power switch works. The only issue is it's the same I had with the initial arcade one-ups. On is off and off is on, so I can either switch that around. I just have to recall how I did that in the software.
It was a code that you put in there.
Yeah, there was some software, but I've just been lazy and not worried about it because it's not that big of a deal. The volume works. The volume switch works. This is all with Sneaky, Very Sneaky's video board. I got to have a handle so you can be able to carry this thing around without having to use two hands to do it. The door is on hinges, so you can open it up. That way, when you want to get in here, and you don't have to get in here to charge the battery because I just have this cable here for that. But you see his board there, Very Sneaky's Geek Sales.
It looks like it makes it very clean and
yeah, it's very clean.
Is that that's an encoder board to the stock display, right?
Yeah, so using the stock display,
okay.
This controller board gives you the ability to use the stock power button and the stock volume switch as well as the stock speaker. So you don't have to get an amp. This has the amp built into it, and that's only $35 for that board. So that board is crucial no matter what you're going to do, whether you're going to put a 60-in-1 in here or a Pi or PC. If you want to use that built-in screen, that's the only board that's really available. So what I have here is I have the Pi. You see it mounted on the side. I just use those motherboard mounting bolts for that, and so that's screwed onto the board. So nothing's glued in here. Everything is secured in here. This thing turned out really nice. And so, like I said, with this one, unlike my what is the Miss Pac-Man? My Miss Pac-Man mod. If I turn this thing off with the switch, this Pi, the screen goes off, and the Pi goes off, but it's still using power. So it would still be draining your battery. So I have the 2 off-on switches. There's one there on the bottom and one at the top. You can see the 2 red lights. And so I can hit those switches so it doesn't drain the battery. I could have done it one or two ways. Both of these are plugged into the battery. You see there?
Yeah.
The video board as well as the Pi plugged in here. But I could plug in the video board straight into the Pi, and then I would only need one switch to turn off both. But this thing is great, man. I think the countercades are super awesome to be able to, position it wherever you want it. You don't have to worry about plugging in a wall, finding a wall socket. This has 101 games on it. There's only a couple of games on here that doesn't really fit it. You can play Centipede with the joystick, but it's not obviously as nice as with a trackball. But I'm extremely happy with this thing, and I'm just waiting on Angel's backlit marquee.
I just got mine the other day. I still haven't put it on yet.
Okay.
I got to put it on there. And he got some, hands down, the best marquees, I think.
Absolutely.
I'm inspired now. I have one of those Dig Dug ones, and it's completely stock. But now I'm inspired to do something with it. Like, that's so awesome.
Yeah, and I'm just using the I think this is the best cabinet for the buttons because I can play one button games, 2 button games, or 3 button games, all with the stock buttons. And with this cabinet, all 3 buttons are there, so you can play games like even Asteroids, and all 3 buttons are right there. Versus some of the other counter Ks, the player one are on the other side. They might have 2 buttons over here, but then the other buttons are there. So I think this one is the best if you want to play 3-button games. If you want to do 2-button games, and probably the Miss Pac-Man, I think it is, that has the 2 buttons right next to each other. And it's not a whole lot of 3-button games that you'll play, so it's really up to you which one you want to get and how you want to handle it. But to not have to drill that and drill through the plexi and all that stuff is pretty cool.
So if you haven't been over to Detroit Love's video for that, doing a series on it, and you still haven't got to the part where you showed the end.
I've just been lazy. I just
want to make sure that, but
it's coming.
Get over there and start watching it because it really is, awesome modification.
Yeah, and I'll show in the video, like if I launch any of these games, you'll have like the no, that's the wrong button. You'll have like the little is in the picture. You see there where it shows you which buttons. You can't really see it.
Oh, that's cool.
But it shows which buttons to use because there'll be different buttons that you use on each of the games. And so I'll show you how to do all those things. Holly is a guy on YouTube called Holly. He really did a whole lot with that. And he taught me a whole lot about programming the Pi. Because in the past, I just got a stock thing. I cleaned it up so you don't get the boot text and all that stuff. But I never really got into programming the buttons. But obviously with this, you had to do that. Otherwise, you have to drill holes for new buttons.
That's pretty cool.
And it's so tight in there, it's not a whole lot you can do. Like I changed out this button, but that button is that long. You couldn't change these 2 out because the speaker, the way this thing is slanted, that speaker sitting there, you couldn't get a longer button than what they have here. So these are the 2 stock buttons.
Okay. So with that being said, thank you, Detroit Love, for showing us that. We're gonna get on the next topic, and basically this is where do we stand right now in terms of the home arcade market, state of the union, if you will. I think we're kind of transitioning in the sense where people are coming out with the second versions, or like if your arcade went up, now you'd be on like the 4th version of their unit. Where do we stand? What do we see where they're at now, and what do you think is their next plan to move forward, in a sense? And Dreamcast, Kyle, why don't you tell us what you think is the roadmap or whatnot for Arcade One Up? What do you think their next move is?
Well, I can tell you what I think they should do. I think they need to make a pro line. I think they need to separate the audience. You need to separate the average Walmart buyer and your arcade enthusiast. And you need to make a pro line that could be full size, have better quality buttons, everything we've all been asking for, proper cabinet shapes, and then continue to build your Pac-Mans and stuff for, just the average person walking in Walmart.
So you're saying in unison, because you don't want to, single out those people who are not interested in the
I think they need to make like a pro line kind of separate division of Arcade One Up. That's more like for the enthusiasts that wants the games that some of these retailers may not want to stock.
So what do you think a price point would be for that, though?
I don't know. Like, so what's the regular cab going for you guys in the States right now? Like $4.99, $5.99, or
I guess like if you wanted to the package was like $3.99 probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, the I think it's like what it's $3.99 without the stool, and then like $4.99 for the package with the stool, and then the pong table was $5.49, $4.99. I don't even know, man. They cost something.
You should know you got everyone in there, so
Man, they're like, I had to point around the corner, and there's more. There, but sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry.
No. So that's interesting. That's an interesting way to go. I think you're onto something in terms of that because most individuals here, they had that gateway drug. They got the Street Fighter 2. They modded it. They did everything they wanted to do it to give it what they really wanted. Then they bought 100 more of the units, and at a certain point, you're like, what's next? They can give you so many versions of Pac-Man or Mortal Kombat or what have you. The normal evolution is probably going to like a full-size cabinet,
Yeah.
like either that or a pro line, like you said.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I don't know. Would you guys buy a pro line from them?
I don't know. I think so. So what? Let me get you guys' opinion on this. So like obviously, I think before, yeah, maybe there's going to be a time when we get the full size cabs, but for now, like if a pro line comes, I feel like it's going to be like it's still going to be in the same like the 3/4 form factor. But like, how would you guys feel if they had like like you've got your Hyundai and then you've got your Genesis, they're both built on the same frame, but one is going to have the more premium monitor, it's going to have the more premium speakers, it's going to have the more premium everything, so like I don't know, but basically like the special edition, like you could put it like that, all the upgraded internal, everything you want, call it a different brand. I don't know, but I would pay $1,000.
That's one of the things, like you were just saying. You just hit it on the head for me. Like Dreamcast, if they did that, they would have to do it under a different name. I think.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It wouldn't be Arcade One Up.
Themselves, yeah. To disassociate themselves with, I guess, the quality wise and just being like, this is a premium line.
Yeah, and I would agree, and let's just remind ourselves, these cabinets are toys, right? And so that's why it makes sense to have, like what you're saying, is to have a separate branding for their cabinets or their premiums or their arcade cabinets. Keep these as toys, pump them out of that. I'm a fan of coin doors, so my Street Fighter has coin doors. I had you see the two yellow buttons before I got my coin doors, but like my modified Galaga full 3/4 size has a coin door. To me, that's the next step in authenticity. I must say I'm not saying it right.
Authenticity.
Authenticity. I think the coin door is key, and they're getting closer to that now by putting the faux coin doors or even putting the stickers there, because they realize for that look, that's one of the essential parts of an arcade. And I tell you, there's nothing, in my opinion, there's nothing like the sound of that coin going in there, hitting the bottom of that tray. When you're playing a game like when you guys had the turtles, that was part of the challenge. And someone mentioned go next. That was part of the gameplay. And I'm about to die, or I got to get back in here. I got to pump in some quarters into this thing. I love that. I love having the quarters stacked up on the cabinet, ready to be played. So to me, the premium cabinet would definitely have to have a coin door, and so that's the natural progression from where they've gone with the toy line, even to start to stimulate that. The pro line would definitely have to have a coin door, and obviously you can put the free mode on, the free play mode on, if you don't want to pump quarters in it, even with that premium product.
So just to interrupt, since we did talk about these coin doors, first of all, one of the things that you did on your machine, just adding that coin door, really just changes the whole appearance of a cabinet, right? It brings that level of authenticity. That's one of the things that Arcade One Up started to do with just the decal, even though it doesn't look as real as a real coin door does. It does give it a different look. It takes away those I don't know, those the sign, like you know um Kyle, Dreamcast Kyle flipped over his Mortal Kombat. Most of us flipped it over if it's black, and if not, put a coin door on it, put some artwork on it, make it look as authentic as possible. Well, we have a person here, a company here, that wants us to do a giveaway for this that will, make you have your cabinet look authentic as possible. So this is what we're gonna do here in the chat, guys. Because it's MK Day, it would be appropriate to do a trivia question based on that, right? So Mortal Kombat is known for its gruesome and violent ways, but a lot of people don't know that some of the characters were inspired by another movie that was kind of goofy that starred Kurt Russell. Can you tell me the name of that movie in the chat? Whoever does, you're the winner. So look in the chat there. Tell me if you see it. I think you guys know what it is. I'll put it in the private chat.
Bobby Broadway. I already got it.
Yep.
Bobby. Oh, there you go. Bobby, quick. You know how to contact me. Contact me via the my email, and we'll go ahead and link you up with that. So this is right here. Let me go ahead and give you the information if you guys want to look at this. This is GraphixGoddess. She's on Ep7. It's really cool. I'm gonna put the link to this the coin door on the description down below. $25. You can make your unit look really authentic. These the lighter buttons are not included, but it has the options to just put that in there. You drill a hole in there, and basically you're good to go. But it's really cool, and it makes it look as authentic as possible.
Yeah, I just ordered one off eBay for the MK. It'll be my first coin door mod, so see how it goes.
Like I said, like Detroit Love said, it really ties it all together and makes it look very authentic.
I don't know. See, I've really I had considered early on doing a coin door mod, but I was thinking I was gonna put an actual coin door in, and then I was like, well, and then it started to become a pain to wire up a 12-volt power supply and stuff. So no, I really appreciate these 3D printed ones, But I feel like the next level of this is somebody putting a tiny little speaker behind it, and when you click that button, it emulates the coin drop sound, So.
Yeah. Oh, that would be cool. That would be cool.
And just for the record, on the real coin door, all you need is a standard power plug to light up those buttons.
Yeah. Like the same or if you have the illuminated arcade buttons, couldn't you just daisy chain it? I mean, in theory, it would take the same voltage.
I would think so.
Yeah, that's possible. I've never looked at it because
GraphixGoddess is the person that hooked us up with that. So definitely thank her. Probably here in the chat. Thank her for that. It was really awesome. Thank you for that, and we'll get you that. Bobby Broadway was fast with that. So back to the State of the Union. So we feel like that's a natural transition over for Arcade One Up to kind of do that pro line, and they hinted to that. So I definitely think that that's along the way, but I wonder how far out that is, because in a sense, they're like printing money. Any unit that they come out with, it's basically being sold out. And I don't know if that's because they're being smart about it and putting less out and just supply and demand, making it scarce so people could be like, I need it, I need it.
Well, I don't think that's the issue. I think it's just tough getting these things made, definitely presently. But the beauty of it is once Arcade One Up sells it to Walmart or whoever they sell it to, it's up to those retailers to move it, right? And they've reduced the prices to sell them in every state but Michigan, apparently. But so once they're in the shop, people are going to buy them. They're going to go off the shelf no matter what cabinet is. And so the key is just them getting out. Now, I'm just curious with you guys. Are you guys fan with this premium model that we're talking about? Do they have to be full size, or are you still interested in them being 3/4 size? If they made the premium version of these cabinets.
For me personally, it would have to be that a 3/4 because the lack of space for me. That's the real reason why I got into it. But I am interested in it being premium. Instead of me having to go out there and source that for myself, if you can do it and make my life easier, I would be down with that.
And I agree. Go ahead.
Oh, I feel like if they were gonna do the 3/4 thing in a premium, I think I would only buy it if it actually reflected the actual cabinet shape of the original. If it didn't and it was just the same style designs, I'd probably just want the full size one.
So your mindset is you really just want more of an authentic feel. So whether it's the same shape, miniaturized, but
because I think if they were to go full size, they would probably want to make it exactly similar to what the original shape was. I would hope.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm curious with this premium, would you want a 20-inch monitor? If you do 20-inch, you sort of lose the bezel, right? So is that a trade-off that you're willing to do for a bigger screen? I personally haven't changed any of my screen sizes on any of my cabinets. I don't have an issue with the size, and I'm with
I think the screen
UAG
size
as well.
Is overrated, to be honest with you, because when you're playing that close to the screen, other than like if you're playing like Big Buck Hunter, you want a bigger screen.
Yeah, the only time I ever felt like the screen size sucked was on the Big Buck, and that's what compelled me to do that mod. But every other time I've been comfortable with the 17-inch everywhere else. It's been fine.
Yeah, I don't have any problems with the 17-inch ones either. I haven't changed any of the screens on mine either.
Now, should they be recessed? Should they be slanted better?
Yeah.
And then if you slant it, then does that then affect the 6 foot 2-inch people that already have these issues?
It depends on how you do it, man. Here, let me show you something that I got right next to me. Hold on. So, and this is I don't know why they didn't learn from they already have the design, man. Take a look at this. The burger time is super slanted. You see, this is me. I'm holding it straight up. You can see there's killer slant on that burger time, but I think you do run into the height issue again because when I start to lift it up, let me get to P-dub height. Yeah, you start to cut off the top a little bit. I don't know.
But I think it's still better slanted than if you were on that one to the right, whatever cabinet that is.
Oh, no, that's my Mortal Kombat with the marquee missing.
Yeah, but as you go up on that, it looks like the screen.
If I stand here and I go and I just bring myself up. Yeah, you're still looking down where myself, I don't know, I find myself looking forward, but I guess that's because I'm shorter, but still, this one has a slant to it and the Legacy doesn't. So I don't know.
Now when you get into the slant, then you start getting into those weird marquee areas, right, where you have all the board, excess board, and it kind of fits with the Burger Time because of the hat shape, right? But I think it's the Legacy cabinet that has the weird marquee where you have that extra wood on the outside for no real reason.
The wings?
Yeah, the wings. I think I agree with Kyle. I think they should make them more authentic you know, you sort of you want to have that, and then I would prefer the slanted screen
Me
on the
too.
premium. I would prefer, like I said, the screen size doesn't really matter to me. I would prefer the coin door, a real coin door, on the premium.
Rexer actually made a good point about the 17-inch with 4-player games. Like, what do you guys think about that?
He said, it just 17 inch is not going to do it, and rightfully so. Like you with the Ninja Turtle cabinet, that was one of the problems. They're like, that screen was just too small. That one, most people probably did have to do a modification too.
And it's not just the screen, is also the the control panel as well. So if you're going to stick with the 4, then you should widen that cabinet anyway, which allows for a bigger screen and a bigger control panel. Either one without the other is kind of counterproductive.
Right.
I don't know if the 17 inches could still possibly be doable. Like on the Turtles cab, I have one over there. But if the control panel was just a little bit wider, I think I think we could all still cram ourselves around the 17 if we each just had 2 to 3 more inches a piece on. But when you talk about 2 to 3 inches a piece, that's adding a foot in width to the cab. So I don't know. Maybe you do need a bigger display.
Yeah. So again, that's where we stand in terms of Arcade 1-Up and what we think is the next natural progression for them. Let's go to the other fish in the pond.
At games.
At games. So they've tried to take over your whole home. You got the ALU, you got the pinball, you got a puck, you have multiple remote
gamer pros or gamer
mini, now a controller. What else can they do? What would be their next step? Is it going into different, like, they got the light guns that's supposed to be coming. I mean, there's not a dedicated cabinet for that, but you have that. Is it going to be coming out with a racing cabinet? Are they going to make one that's independent or add it to what you already have existing? I would really like them to say, here's a racing cabinet, because you don't want to have to always interchange your stuff. Like, you don't want to feel like you're building a transformer.
First, let them come out. Let them come out with all the form factors, because man, I didn't like. I gotta say, I don't want to say that I was a hater, because I still bought the Legends Gamer Pro way back before the $99 or whatever, when everybody bought all those at Walmart. But like, I wasn't really like a fan until first they started updating the firmware and adding pinball and everything. But I was running out of space, with building all these cabinets and doing all this craziness. So like, the at games immediately started making sense. It's like, oh, you can run basically everything under the sun on this thing, and I can hook up a Pi or a computer or whatever I want to do. So yeah, if they want to come out with short, tall, mini Tetris, everything, I want to get them all, because like their ecosystem it's getting better and better. They're listening to people. They're listening to comments. We're about to have tournaments in one of these upcoming firmwares on that pinball. So yeah, bring it on. And if they want to come out with a racing cab, I don't know what racing games they're going to get with that Dookie licensing they currently have. But
well, I mean, you got to look at it this way. They're going to probably just do OTG again and bring your own racing games, and you can run Technoparrot on it, and you can run any game. I mean, they're giving us the means to get to it. But you do have to have a couple of licensed games to suffice for it, because there's going to be people who don't want to do anything. There's a lot of people who actually play that game stuff without doing any adding of it.
So right? my question is, with this driving cab, is this a sit down cab or is this a stand up cab? What do you guys
To
prefer?
me, it has to be sit down.
Okay.
It has to be sit down because you want to change it up. You want a different form factor. There's going to be people like right now for me, my space is limited, right? So I'm selective on what I can get. So I'm only going to get something if it wows me. Sit down cab is going to wow me. A gun cab is going to wow me. Certain things like that. Dreamcast, what you was going to say?
Oh, I was gonna say, what if they came out with something that you could make it a sit down and a stand up, so that it was, you could a little bit more easier than what the arcade 1-up was.
That is an option. That is option. I'm just like I just don't want to say, well, here's a control deck. Just swap out your control deck, and here now you have a racer.
I think
So that's the only thing. Like, I mean, they could probably do that because there are going to be people who don't want to buy another cabinet, and then that's why they did that.
Like, I would like to see, like, as far as like a racing cabinet goes, I would like to see two form factors. I know there's a lot of people that want to have the stand up racing cab inside their like a home arcade setup, but I don't know. I'm comfortable with the sit down, but what I would like to see is if they were going to do it, I want to see a sit down model, and then also for somebody who might not have the room for that. Do you guys remember on like, I don't know, maybe they still exist, but on some of like the older game console steering wheels that you could get, they would they'd have like that part that kind of like sat under your legs, and so it was kind of like in your lap. Maybe I can look one up. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but they were on like the Nintendo 64, like the Interact steering wheel and stuff. They would it just had that part that would like go up under. You kind of sat in it, even though
kind of would it give you a vibration on your legs to make you feel like
I don't know about that. Here, hold on, I'm pulling up so I can tell you what it's called. Hold on.
So Detroit Love, would that interest you though? If Ag Game said, "Here's a driving cab, sit down or stand up, or whatever," what would interest you to get that?
To date, I haven't been a fan of the driving cabs, and that's simply because I'm a little older than you guys. I played the quarter arcade. That's why the coin box is so crucial to me. I wasn't feeding dollars in my arcade like you guys were. I wasn't swiping cards to play games. I was putting quarters in it, and eventually had the tokens.
They did that in Outrun. Outrun was a quarter.
Yeah, but my point is, most of those games were $1 to play. I was too cheap. So I played primarily, even when it went to the 50-cent games, and I'm like, what? Get out here. So I didn't play a lot of the driving games. So from my standpoint, it's not something that I grew up doing. I sat behind it and watched you guys play. And by that time I had my boys and they would play those games more. But it's not something that I played growing up. So it doesn't have the same effect that Pac-Man or Miss Pac-Man or Galaga and those things have for me. Not to say that I would enjoy it. I would have to see it to believe it before, I could be sold on it. Because I just doesn't have, Crazy Cab and, Cruising USA, Daytona, all those. I just didn't really play those. If I played any of those, they were on console games and not at the arcade.
For love, you had mentioned in previous episodes something, and I'll point back to that. You weren't the biggest pinball fan, though.
No, I was the biggest pinball fan. No.
But before,
original, the full size,
now,
right?
But like because of the money factor, options,
Yeah.
But
So
now that you got it in your house, you love it, right?
Right. I wasn't a big fan of ad games until the sauce. I discovered the sauce. I wasn't a fan of IRK initially. So I can only speak, and that's how all my videos are. My videos are always what I'm doing, right? You know what I mean? So if I'm not doing it, I'm typically not talking about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So my experience grows as I grow and understand and get exposed to something. And if I like it, I'm going to talk about it. If I don't know much about it, I'm going to say, hey, I don't really have a strong opinion on it because I just hadn't had that much exposure.
So when you got the Toy Shop, what was it? Was it the price point? What was it that said, you know what, I'll give this product an opportunity?
Absolutely, because I have been like you guys. I've been wanting arcade. I've had a Raspberry Pi for years playing the arcade games. I've had ROMs on there and on my TV, but I didn't play it a lot because that's just not how I played those games, right? But there was the only way you can play those games, so I played it very sparingly. So I always wanted to get a cabinet. I wanted to be able to stand up at a cabinet. I want to do this, but the price set of all these things were ridiculous. Even Game Room Solution, those guys like that, or even what's the big store that's we buy electronics from? I can't think of it. Center, Micro Center. Those guys had these things, but they were just ridiculously expensive. And so I wanted it, but I can never justify getting any of those things at the price set. So when the Toy Shock, and I had started looking at the virtual pinball for years and looking at it and wanting to get it. And when the Toy Shop came out, I said, hell, for $300, that's worth the cabinet without anything in it. Right? It's got real glass, tempered glass top. I mean, for $300, the parts themselves that I don't have to build and cut and measure, because if you watch any of my videos, I cut twice and measure once. So that was no appeal for me to build a cabinet, and I don't want a full size cabinet like you guys says with these arcade 1-up. The 3/4 scale is my size. I have no interest in having a full size pinball, a full size video cabinet, video game cabinet. I just don't have any interest in that size. So when the Toy Shop came out, even though it was a little smaller than what I would have wanted to have, the price set just made sense to do so. So I jumped on it immediately with no intention of ever playing the built-in games if I didn't have to. I was going to mod that thing day one. And it didn't take long for me to do so once I got it in my hand.
Okay, so that's where we think that arcade 1-up is. I mean, not arcade 1-up at games, probably changing another peripheral, going to racing or.
I forgot to mention. I sent a link in the private chat so I could show you the steering wheel that I was talking about. The basically it just has this little part that you're intended to like sit on, so the wheel goes like right in between your legs. I mean, it's just a simple design, but if At Games came out with a wireless version of that, people would definitely buy it and sit on their couch and play racing games.
Okay.
Well, I mean that definitely would be
like right there. So right up underneath it. Yeah. So like that black wing part on the bottom, you're intended to literally sit on top of that, and then it just rests between your legs.
I think it would be smarter for At Games to do something similar to this, because then you could play this on your Gamer Pro. You can play it on your Gamer Mini. You can play on your 90-inch TV, 70-inch TV, as opposed to a smaller cabinet. I think with the driving, similar to what you were saying with the Big Buck, the Buck Hunter, you like the bigger screen. I think with a driving game, the bigger the screen is, I think better the better experience would be. So I think I would prefer being in my comfortable chair without having to do what Kyle did and modified and made this special seat to do it. I'd rather have my 70-inch TV in my comfort chair with something like this as opposed to a dedicated cabinet. Is my initial thought on this.
I bet me and Kyle would rather take the cabinet.
I would, but that was grueling to make, man. I'm telling you. Like, I spent days like messing with that thing. I was like a mad scientist down here trying to make that chair fit.
No,
like, it was
but with At Games, it might make more sense because this is the kind of the way their thought process is. Like you want to be able to, not single out people who have the first cabinet and stuff like that. They could just add this as a peripheral. But if I'm gonna do a racing game, I want to sit down in front of that cabinet, and that'll be my dedicated cabinet for that. But I think that this might be one of the ways that they would go about it.
But here's the thing with when we talk about the preference for 3/4 scale That cabinet, once you get the seating, that thing gets huge, and
It is going to take some real estate.
It's big.
yeah, it's going to take up a lot of space, and I think just from their standpoint, it would make more sense to do it this way as a peripheral, because they can make more sales. You don't have those size restrictions, their rooms restrictions. So, from a company standpoint, I think they would make more money this way and leave those cabinets to Arcade One Up.
Now, you guys mentioned light guns. What would an At Games light gun cabinet look like?
I think they're just going to leave the cabinet the way it is because you're buying that accessory. They're just selling it as an accessory.
Yeah, so, I have zero interest after looking at like the Sinden and like the gun for IR stuff. I have zero interest in the Bit Blaster.
It's hard. It's a hard sell now with that technology. They
would have got my money a year ago. So but not now. There's too many other options, and I think like just go look on eBay right now. Right now, even everybody's trying. Now that everybody knows about gun for IR, now everybody's trying to dump their Sindens.
That's what I was gonna say. Now that gun for IR came out. I wouldn't even go with the Sinden light gun anymore.
Yeah,
I wouldn't. Did you see? I know Dreamcast Kyle, you've seen it. What do you think about that?
I've never handled the Sindens, so I can't really compare them. But the stuff on B-Conk show looked really impressive the other night.
I've never touched the Sinden light gun, but I'm not interested in losing the expensive real estate on your screen. If you have a 19-inch screen and you're already taking away an inch away to play, it starts sucking. Or 17-inch if you got an Arcade One Up. So
B-Conk says, "Who wants to buy my aim tracks?"
So, with that being said, let's go over to iArcade and where they stand. What'd you say?
I said, B-Conk said, "Who wants to buy my aim tracks?" I said, "You can buy them and then get them modded with the Gun for IR system."
That's probably what he's thinking about. So, iArcade, for me, I personally think that they're still in the infant stage of their unit. I don't foresee them going anywhere but where they're at right now. I think they're focusing on getting more modernized games, getting their games on the what they really need to focus on is getting their games online. I think that's what's going to make the bigger difference. Like you can still try to get the games, but if you have the existing games that you have right now, if they were online, you would make a lot of people happy. You make a lot of people happy. D-Love, you have an iArcade. Talk to me.
Yeah, on Facebook, I've been seeing a lot of those pop-up ads in iArcade. I've seen a lot of their ads selling the ideal of modern games, and I think that's a very tight line that they're walking in saying modern games and not being connected games, because modern games are connected.
That's what you think about when you first think about a modern game.
Yeah. I think the people younger than me definitely, when you say modern, means connected. Period. Because they play online. They're Call of Duty, and they've been doing all this stuff online for years. So to go into this, if they want to sell this to people, I think it has to be connected. So, like you said, they're at the start of it. I think Jong's doing a great job. I think he's doing what he can at the speed that they're able to move. But I think he definitely has to be making efforts and strives to making those games playable against people online. It's a totally different element to a game when you're playing against an AI and playing against another human being. So I think it's crucial for them to have those connected. We talked on the Super Game Room dudes about the connectivity of say the NBA Jam or Arcade One Up. It makes a huge difference in gaming to be able to play with other people. And more so, I think it's always been that way, but more so with this pandemic and the way things change, and people not having as many people over at their homes anymore because of this. I think it's even more important that capability is there.
Dreamcast, Kyle, you have a few machines. Do you have the iArcade?
I don't, but I
No.
actually was looking at getting one a little while
Oh,
ago. It's definitely
it's kind of tough for you again about in Canada, right?
well, iArcade would probably run me about $1,000.
Yeah.
So I don't
What
know.
if what would interest you? I mean, you said you were interested in it already. So what interests you in getting that unit if you have the capability of getting it?
The quality, I've heard it's really good in terms of the quality and controls, and I've heard it's built like a tank. And I like that he's got a lot of licensed stuff, so that's really appealing. And he's pretty open to talking with people about his product, which is pretty cool to see too.
TechnoBilly?
I don't have an iArcade, but let me say that I've been like looking into the company a lot. I saw that like not too long ago they had I guess they received another round of funding from some investor. I don't know, but I I'm really curious to see where they go. I want people to keep buying their stuff because in the next year or so, I'm going to move and I'm going to have way more space, and I am going to buy one. I'm going to buy one of their machines. But like, I feel like companies like them, they gotta what like you guys are right about like modern meaning connected. I think one of the biggest things that they need to add to those cabinets, that they need to add to the arcade one ups, that they need to add to the at games is competent streaming. The ability to you click a button and instantly this thing is sharing the game that you're playing with the world, you know? And then someone can say, how do I do that too? How do I play with that person, you know? And then they just hop right in. That's where I'm that's where PiePacker is pretty cool. You know, if you could get that ease of access on every one of these machines to play with somebody else, you know, you'll instantly have my money. And I would love to see iArcade do that. Like you remember, like UAG was trying to help me like 3 weeks ago. We were trying to stream directly from the pinball cab, and man, what a nightmare that was, you know. So if iArcade could get with like legit connectivity in that aspect, then maybe there's some things that I don't know about yet, but that's what I would like to see, the ability, because a lot of those they are Android games, you know, but I would like to see one click you fire it up and you're sharing it with the world, or you're easily playing with a friend, you know, spectate.
Like I told anybody that knows me, if they say what's going to be your next purchase, especially like with Arcade One Up, I'm very like I've passed on everything that was brand new until they come out with something that has the Wi-Fi. So probably the next thing I'll buy is the Killer Instinct, just because it has Wi-Fi, and
Yep.
you that brings a whole different element to your home arcade when you have that ability. Because I don't know about you guys, but my family, they could care less about anything in this room. For real, they won't play it. So, and then where we're at right now with the pandemic, you don't have friends over. Anything I want has to be connected because that's the only way I'm going to get usage out of it. Because after a while, playing by yourself, it does get boring. Does get boring. That's why probably my Legends pinball gets the most usage because I'm playing against people scores. Where I'm not playing against them themselves, but the leaderboards. Those things bring you back to your unit.
They can't afford to mess up Killer Instinct.
No, I think the world is watching. If they mess that up, it's not going to be a good look.
No.
But I have the utmost faith in that project because they have Code Mystics behind it.
I think
So
I think the reason why we got a Killer Instinct why we're getting a Killer Instinct online cab before we got the Mortal Kombat online cab was because they knew they could sell everybody an offline Mortal Kombat one more time, you know, and it looks like they've obviously got the fight like the latency down because we've got X-Men versus Street Fighter, you know, and Marvel versus Capcom, we've got NBA Jam, but like I don't know. Maybe this is an unpopular opinion, but um, Killer Instinct. I mean, it's not a bad game, but it's not Mortal Kombat. You know, like like Zohar said it the other day. He was like, he's like, everybody wants to see the Mortal Kombat movie. He's like, there's no Killer Instinct movie, you know. So yeah, it's probably gonna have upgraded hardware. It's probably gonna have a little bit better sound, a little bit better things. But I wanted it to be Mortal Kombat
next year.
But like you said, they can resell that cabinet a few times and people are going to buy it. But I think people don't realize how big of a classic Killer Instinct was. Killer Instinct is a big classic.
It's got a big following.
It has a big following. People want it. And, what's the biggest running gag is like, can your Raspberry Pi run Killer Instinct? Can this run Killer Instinct? That's one of the first questions that you ask somebody when you're doing a modified unit.
Let me tell you a funny story, man. So when Killer Instinct came out, I got I was on the way to Florida with my family, and they let me pick up a magazine from this gas station. So I got the Game Pro that had all the moves, the whole strategy guide for the arcade Killer Instinct. And we get down there, and my sister, who's older than me, she ended up, and she was a teenager, and I was just a little kid. She met this guy on the beach, and they were talking to each other. Like, well, I guess he was a kid too. He's a teenager, older than me at the time. And she met him on the beach, and they were talking for a few minutes, and then he saw me, and he saw that I had the Game Pro in my hand, and he was like, "Whoa, is that Killer Instinct?" And I was like, "Yeah, man. On the way down, I've been reading it, and I think I know all the moves now." And I was like, "I think Fulgore is pretty cool." And he was like, "Dude," he was like, "There's an arcade across the street." He was like, "If I bet money against people, could you win?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, I couldn't." At the time, I was actually I was in tournaments for Street Fighter 2, so I was pretty confident with myself. And yeah, we went across the street, and I totally mopped it up, man. We were laying the smackdown on some people because of that strategy guide. And still, I'd rather have. I don't have a story like that for Mortal Kombat, but I'd rather have Mortal Kombat. So.
It's definitely the bigger following. We're not going to deny that Mortal Kombat is probably Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter 1 and 1A, right? So I mean that's where we stand in terms of IR Arcade as well, and the rest. Do we see another person, another company stepping into the market, or we pretty much it's saturated? This is what's going to be.
Nintendo.
Unico is still doing stuff too, right?
Yep.
With the MVSX.
We do have Unico, and with that mock-up of that Capcom, and the guy saying that they're going to go try to take that out there. It seems like they're going to be coming out with another cabinet eventually. So they seem like they're going to be players in this game.
Capcom. They're going to make that Capcom. Just watch.
Oh, that by far, I see that happening. But anybody else for do you think can enter the market?
I want to see some Soul Calibur. I'm with Bobby Broadway there. I want to see somebody come out with a Soul Calibur cabinet.
Who's that publisher? Is that Sega?
Namco.
Yeah. I didn't know that. I did not know that.
Because they made Soul Calibur, Soul Blade, Soul Edge, all that stuff. And so here's another thing too. For that, if you've got a Pi 4, you can run Dreamcast and Naomi titles 60 frames a second all day long. So there's no reason why we can't have games of that caliber, Soul Calibur, in in a cabinet right now with online multiplayer.
This is true. But if we're waiting for Arcade 1-Up to come down with that, they have a pathway, and they're not going to skip generations of units to get to it. They would be killing off their own ecosystem or whatnot. So I think that's gonna come. It's just eventually, right? Um, so yeah, I don't think personally. I don't see anybody else coming into the market though. I think that we have what we have, unless, like you had mentioned, Nintendo coming in,
Yeah.
whether they would do it themselves or whether they would license it out to somebody else. I
The
don't know.
shadow build from Arcade One Up. Yeah.
I mean, I don't rule out that someone else can get into the market. Obviously, the market is still at its infancy. So there's a lot of companies out there, people with money. So money speaks. So if someone really got hold of where this market is going, even with the pinball, and threw some money at it, I can definitely see someone coming in and taking over and making Arcade One Up the Palm Pilots of the world, and be something that
But
our small
well
group of
played
people talk
tried
about.
that. Well played tried that. So for every company that tries that, there's a well play. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a point where like the market share is Arcade One Up. Ad games came in. They have a different market. There's some overlap, but you have that. Arcade is taking the premium route. So is Unico as well, in a sense. It's more like that in between area, that gray area. So I personally, I don't know. I think that there's unless we start seeing people start doing their own thing. Like let's say Sega says, "I'm going to come out with my own line. I'm pulling my license from them, and I'll just make my own, and we'll have like a 50-1 like the MVNS, something like that." I would see that happening before I see another person, another company saying you buy up these licenses. The licenses are expensive, and it's not easy to get either.
I guess if you're Sega or Nintendo, the question is like, do you need to get into it? Right.
But that's why I say Sega, because I think Sega would do it.
Yeah.
Because, they're not dealing with hardware anymore. They're basically selling games. This could be their way. I mean, they already did the Astro Mini. They just be scaling in a sense.
Yeah.
Nintendo, they print money, so they could they I don't think they have to do it anytime soon.
I don't know. I think see Sega. Unfortunately, like I couldn't see Sega like pulling up people's licenses and going on their own path. As much as I love Sega, and obviously I'm going to be in agreement with Kyle that my favorite game console is the Dreamcast. I mean, running on Windows CE, fantastic. But they're Sega is. I mean, they're just a shell of the company they once were, and they're like they've sold off like a majority of their arcade business even in Japan. So they just they don't have the resources to do it on their own anymore. They have no choice but to let another company use their license if they wanted to bring a product like that to market. So I don't even think at this point that it's up to Sega saying we want to come out with a so and so whatever. I think it's somebody coming to Sega and saying, hey, we want to do Sega exclusive things, and right now we currently get that in the format of Outrun and crap like that,
You notice they don't put any of the Sega logos on any of the
Yes.
the products?
Yeah.
Why?
What's up with that?
No,
I don't know.
They probably have to pay somebody that's not involved anymore
Yeah.
for that
The Killer
jingle
Instinct won't have Nintendo.
Well, yeah.
Well, that's because they no longer own it.
True.
But Detroit Love, were you a Dreamcast guy?
Well, Dreamcast. I love Dreamcast.
Because I was just wondering, like all four of us, would probably think that's our favorite.
But it was short lived. That's the issue.
It was very short lived. But
what was it? The 2K, the football
the 2K
game
line was the best line ever.
Yeah, that changed the game.
Yeah,
It changed literally the game, and Madden had to get their crap together and get the licensing so that they can just make these everyone else say player 1 and player 2, and they couldn't use the names anymore because
2K,
for $20 they was going to destroy Madden and anybody else.
2K killed NBA Live.
Okay,
NBA Live
I
was
didn't play
a thing.
basketball, so
That was the equivalent to Madden.
okay.
It was EA.
I remember it was like Good Morning America or something like that when they showed off like the NFL 2K and they showed the players had breath and then they said, there's more polygons in that football than in the entire stadium on the PlayStation 1. I was blown away. But also I feel like I feel like I'm one of the people that was responsible for the Dreamcast failing because I absolutely had a whole library of freaking Utopia boot discs, and I was sitting there I didn't even have a CD burner at the time. I was in like my intro to technology, whatever class in high school, and I was like using Disc Juggler and I was like ripping games and patching them myself and like resizing the IP.bin file and all that. So I felt like maybe if me and my friends had just spent a little more money, we would have got a Dreamcast too.
I know single-handedly Dreamcast has probably got is the reason for some of my poor grades my freshman year of college.
Yeah.
Single-handedly. So that I think that's it.
I'm sorry, Sega. I'm sorry.
No, what was you gonna say?
So I'm sorry.
He said he single-handedly killed the market. So.
Trust and believe. A lot of us, if we knew what we knew now, we probably wouldn't have done it. But a lot of us were at fault to that.
Thank you, Elmo.
It was Sony and PlayStation, I think, that finished them off, right?
Yeah.
DVD player and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Even though the PlayStation 1, I mean, if you look at a lot of those games back then, they were horrible. They were horrible in comparison to what the Dreamcast had. But where they were heading, they just changed the game.
I think the Dreamcast was light years ahead.
Mm-hmm.
It was light years ahead. It was ahead of its time. Short-lived, awesome library.
First connected.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
When then, so
I mean, it didn't work a whole lot good, but
no,
it didn't.
They had broadband been available when they was too ahead of it. They were too ahead of their time.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is true, man. That library. I remember one of my favorite games, probably in the chat. Let me know. Ready to Rumble.
Oh yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Afro
round two.
I would love to have that today. I keep saying I'm gonna go to the resale shop up there and grab me one of those Dreamcasts. I just hadn't done it yet.
Brad in the chat has I think 5 Dreamcasts. He just needs to send me one. So I've been trying to hunt these suckers down. I just want one. It could be stock.
They're not marked up crazy either. Like you can get
I think
them for decent
$70 or so is what I think they sell them.
Yeah. And I got my GD Emu from AliExpress. Just ship me a Dreamcast and I'll mod it for you. Yeah.
Okay, guys, before we leave, you know what we got to do. So go over to Dreamcast Kyle. How many subs you have?
Oh, I'm just under 700, I think, right now.
All right, we got to get him over to 700, and we got to get TechnoBilly over 100 right now. Those are the two channels. Their descriptions are in the description down below their channels. Go over there, give sub to their channels. They're awesome dudes. They have awesome videos. If you want to see anything about modifications or just reviews or anything like that, they are always buying some junk.
I've got a dope Neo Geo build coming out really soon.
Yep.
I also So there's a Star Wars right over there that I never play. I honestly can give two craps about that cabinet, even though some people would disagree with me. But also, I've been looking around, and I don't know that anyone has done a legit Paperboy. So I think I'm gonna turn that control, the yoke. I'm gonna go buy some bicycle parts, and
I'll be waiting for that because I know that's gonna look like a real one.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
seeing your work. So
I'm gonna do it the right way, man. It's gonna be I keep thinking about it more and more. Somebody had said it somewhere, maybe in a comment somewhere. I don't know. It's been in my brain, so I really got to do that. But I got to bang out that Neo Geo one first, and also my X-Men versus Street Fighter over here. It's cool and it's online or whatever, but I don't know. I think also
you better not touch that cabinet.
Well,
don't touch that cabinet. That's a beautiful cabinet.
I'm not going to destroy the cabinet. I'm just going to take the. I'm going to. So what I want to do is I'm going to take the PCB out, and then I'm going to figure out everybody. As somebody said, there was an issue with the geek worm, but I may have already figured that out, and so I can get that board to go out to HDMI now. And I'm going to take my my Legends Gamer Pro, and I'm going to gut that, and I'm going to turn it into a pedestal stand for the X-Men versus Street Fighter and hook it up to my 65-inch TV.
Okay. Now I could see that. That would be kind of awesome. And everybody, guys, if you haven't, 90% of you guys probably already on D-Love, but go over to his channel. If you haven't, subscribe to his channel. Make sure you follow those that series on the Countercade. He's gonna have another one coming out soon, but they're awesome. And if you like to get the details and the modifications, he's gonna give it to you.
I was just saying, I just subscribed to both you guys. I wasn't, so I just did that, yeah. But 75% of the people that watch my channel don't subscribe. I don't know what it is. They come back and watch and love watching, but they won't subscribe. Maybe they hate me. That must be what it is.
Hey, I appreciate your gameplay videos, man. D-Love, man, you got when you're playing the pinball. When you're playing whatever. I don't know. I feel like I enjoy just having your stream just going on in the background. I don't know.
Okay, well, I'll have to do more of that then.
Yeah, man. I'll definitely hang out. Yeah.
Okay.
Especially the pinball sessions that you had. They're some of the best.
Yeah, man. That's when I subscribed. Yeah.
Okay, and they're easier to do too, because it'll take me forever to do one of these other videos. Maybe that's where I'm messing up at.
Just post on Facebook. Hey, everyone, I'm live right now, and you'll probably get 30 people in there or more watch you play pinball.
Detroit don't do that promoting. Me, on the other hand, I got to hustle to get these people here. Detroit just said, you know what? I feel like going online right now. I'll go online. So, what do you guys got coming up next? Let our audience know what's coming down the pipeline for you guys.
Well, I'm shopping for full-size arcades right now.
Okay.
Yep.
So
I got a budget. I'm ready to go.
Tech?
I'm modding the crap out of this Ad Games pinball very soon. I got my screen. I've got my DMD. Yeah, you saw that DMD that I ordered from AliExpress. Mm-hmm. I got it's an LCD that I'm going to use as the DMD. Also on if this cable will reach it. Remember the other day, so UAG sends me a picture. He sends me this picture of his cabinet, and he's got a Zac table playing, and he says, "What do you notice?" And I was like, there's nothing plugged into the USB port. And I was like, so how are you doing that? And then he's like, bro, I moved the he's like, I moved that whole portion to the back of the cab, so I couldn't not do it. So literally within 10 minutes, I'm sending him pictures, and my Ad Games pinball was in pieces. And if I can get the cable, if I can get this shit all the way over here, bring this. Maybe you can hang on. I'm gonna turn this light on. Give me 10 seconds.
I feel like we're watching the Blair Witch Project.
So right up here, you'll see. Hold on, let me make this a little bit. I'm like knocking everything down. It doesn't matter. Anyways, so right here, it's all gone. It's now in the back of the cabinet. So I didn't like having that like there. So now I don't know. It feels a little
so much better, right?
Yeah. And so, the next thing I'm going to need to do is that little tiny input button. I'm going to need to I don't know, desolder that and then
run it to the front.
Yeah, I'm going to put a different button on there and extend it out to like the front, probably underneath, like right next to where the power switch is.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh man! So you had me all excited about this until you said soldering. Now I got to run. Hi.
Listen, but that modification, Meatball Saucy, put me onto that. P-Dubs, Detroit, and it's not that hard. It's not that hard.
I like soldering.
It's not, because all it is the housing for that bar, the back bar. It holds like a USB hub in it. And you're just removing it from that and then just relocating it. But it really does, like, night and day. Just that little mod can really improve it. Because I'm so anal about things. Like, that was bothering me. Even though, like, you can get the low profile USBs, that was irking me.
I bought even a 128 Samsung, like, lower profile one that actually doesn't have an LED on it, and I had to like Google to find one, like USB drive, no LED, and I still wasn't happy with the little bump there. So now I'm cool with it being in the back, but once I mod it, yeah, I need input selection up front, and it'll probably be similar to how they did it with that Rachel board, where you just have an extra button that you just find a place for.
I'll be watching your stream then and your channel there to see that.
Thank you.
Yeah. I had originally had the low profile 128 gig that you're talking about, but I just grabbed this old one I had on my drawer because I needed to save my key. So because I'll lose this key to the back of the Legends pinball. So I'd rather have this bigger one with it hold my key. But I do like having it in the back because I hate having it up front as well. So I'll definitely look at the Meatball Saucies in you guys' video.
So what I'm probably going to do is, you know how you've probably seen them on some other cabinets, like on like the arcade 1-ups, where like right above the kick panel, what is that, like the J plate or whatever, where people put their insert coin buttons and stuff. They can get that one panel that has the third hole where you can put like a USB port or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm going to extend my USB port out from the back all the way up to the front. And so it'll be right up underneath where the power button is. I'll have my input, my USB, everything right there on the underside of the cabinet hidden.
That's what I think I might do as well.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to already run a button for the Rachel board towards the front. So 2 more holes ain't going to kill me. Except for Detroit Love, you have to use a drill for that.
Well, I don't have a problem with a drill. It's only when I have to cut something.
The cutting of the wood part. Okay,
right.
All right. So,
and yeah, just don't do it indoors like me.
I do it indoors all the time. When I did my Galaga, I'm like, I really shouldn't be in a family room doing this. But good thing my wife was
she wasn't home. She wasn't home. But she didn't watch the video, I guess. So what you got next, D-Love?
Well, apparently, I'm going to be doing live streams because I'm never going to take the time to do the actual videos. So maybe I'll just make that a live stream going over this and showing and running the videos that I already have done. So I may make that a live stream.
You still got to give us that last video.
I think I'm going to turn that into a live stream and give it to you in a live stream.
All right, do that one.
Like I had mentioned earlier, was that I was gonna, like, all my modded cabs, I'm gonna be putting in those like cheap AliExpress capture cards, you could hook a cheap one up to your countercade there probably, and then you could literally stream yourself playing the countercade.
Well, send me a link on that.
Okay. Yeah, they're like $20, and they can do 1080 60 all day.
Okay. Yeah, send me a link. It's 1:00 in the morning here, so I'm not. My
We're
brain's not
done.
remember anything.
Just real quickly here, guys. Again, this was from the giveaway. Whatchamacallit, GraphixGoddess. Here, this is on the Ep7 website. I'm gonna go ahead and link this on there if you guys are interested in a coin door to modify your thing and tie it all together. That's what you need to do, guys. All right. So I'm gonna call that a wrap. I think we all did it. Thank you guys for coming in on the show there. It really means a lot. Definitely appreciate you guys there.
Hey, I need to show you guys something. Let me see what is it? What does it say right there? Hold on, get in the focus.
You got it?
You got your 100.
It looks like 101.
101. I'm at 101 subscribers. You guys did it. I was at like 80 before. So thank you for pushing me over the top.
Did we get the 7?
Hang on. I don't think so. Or we might be close. Hang on. Actually, we did get it.
Awesome.
Hang on. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate that.
And Detroit Love got 5,000. So
yeah.
So
well, actually, mine jumped from mine to you guys, so I went down.
Anyway, guys, you'll get it. You're gonna get them all back with those streams.
Right.
With that being said, guys, I really appreciate you guys coming in. Awesome. Appreciate you guys.
Fix your link because the Dreamcast Kyle's has like 2 YouTubes in the URL. So for the lazy people, they're not going to fix it, and then he won't get those subscribers.
I'll fix it. I'll fix it now. All right, guys. Anyway, thank you again.
Appreciate that, guys.
You guys have a good one.
Thank you.
Man.
Until next time, guys. Keep gaming.
Or good morning, everyone.
Thanks. I got to work in 5 hours.
Bye.